In this video, we'll look at creating plates filled with an omelette and a slice of bread. Press numpad 7 for top orthographic view. Option plus Z for X-ray mode. Move the mouse to align diagonally with the bar stool as shown. Hold Shift key and right-click to place the 3D cursor on top of the table. Press Shift plus a keys and add a circle and scale down as shown. Select the circle and tab into edit mode. Press / key to hide the rest. Press F key to make face. Numpad 1 for front view. Press E plus Z keys to extrude along Z axis as shown. Select the bottom face. Numpad 1 for front view and press S and scale inward as shown. Then, inset the bottom face a couple of times with I key as shown. Select the top face and inset with I key as shown. Press Option plus Z keys for X-ray view and inset again, using the bottom edges as reference. Left-click to confirm inset. With the top face still selected, press numpad 1 for front view. Press G plus Z keys to move the face down as shown. Option or Alt plus left-click on inner edge and inset a couple more times as shown here. And add a grid fill for the selected face. Adjust the offset to align the edges to X and Y axes. Grid fill can be found in the face menu and you could search for it with Alt or Option plus spacebar. Tab back into object mode and add a subdivision surface modifier. I used shortcut key control or command plus the number 2 key for a level 2 subdivision. Next, we'll create an omelette. Press numpad 7, move the mouse cursor slightly to the top left and hold Shift and right-click to move the 3D cursor. Add a circle with Shift plus a keys. Scale down the circle as shown. Move and adjust the size of the circle as shown. Tab into edit mode and press F to make face. Move the circle 0.001 meters up on Z-axis to prevent the overlap with plate object. Press / key to hide the rest. Select the face and extrude along Z-axis. Add a bevel and a subdivision surface modifier. Inset with I key a couple of times as shown. Inset 2 more times to create supporting edge loops. Select the bottom face, do an inset with I key and add a grid fill. Select the top face and add a grid fill. Adjust the bevel settings to refine the appearance as shown here. Press number 1 key for front view and / key to hide the rest. Press A to select all and then S and Z keys to scale down along Z-axis. Adjust bevel settings to fix the appearance. Numpad 1 for front view and Option plus Z keys for X-ray mode and G plus Z keys to move the object to sit slightly above the plate. Tab back into Edit mode. Select the 4 faces in the middle and hold Ctrl and keep pressing plus symbol key to expand selection. Expand selection up to the second edge loop. Create material colors for egg white and egg yolk as shown here. Select egg yolk material and click on Assign to apply the material to the selected faces. If you wish to select the egg yolk section of the faces later, you can create vertex group for the selection. With the faces selected, press Ctrl plus G and select Assign to New Group. Now, in the Object Data Properties, you'll see the vertex group that you just created. It's a good practice to name it appropriately, and then use the Select and Deselect buttons to select the faces. You can also select the egg yolk section of the faces and then invert selection to select the rest of the faces. Let's adjust the egg yolk color to be a bit more darker. Numpad 7 for top view. Now change the select mode to vertex. Select the vertex in the middle and enable proportional editing. Numpad 1 for front view. Press G plus Z keys and adjust the proportional size by scrolling the middle mouse button as shown. Drag the mouse up to protrude the selection a bit. Now, Numpad 7 for top view. Turn on solid and X-ray mode in viewport shading. Omelete cannot exactly be circular. Let's use proportional editing to make it uneven. Box select the vertices and move it with G key as shown. Press /key to unhide the rest of the objects. I'll add a gray material color to the plate for now. Rename the omelette and the plate objects in the window. Next, we'll create a slice of bread. Numpad 7 for top view and hold Shift and right-click to move the 3D cursor as shown here. Add a cube and scale it down. Press G+Z keys and move it above the plate. Tab into Edit mode. Select the top and bottom faces and apply materials as shown here. One material for bread and one for the bread crust. Press Command or Control+2 keys to add a Level 2 subdivision surface modifier. Now add some loop cuts to the bread with Command or Control+R key. Add 7 loop cuts both horizontally and vertically. Tab back into Object mode. Let's rotate and align the bread to appear as if it's resting on the plate. Press R+Z keys and move mouse to rotate the bread on Z-axis as shown here. Change Transform Pivot Point to 3D Cursor. Select the bread and press R key to rotate. Press G+Z keys and drag the mouse down to rest the bread against the plate as shown here. Rename the cube in Outliner to bread. Also rename the material colors to bread and bread crust. Numpad 7 for top view. Now let's select the plate and use Mirror modifier to display it in front of the remaining 3 chairs. The mirror object in the Mirror modifier should be tabletop. Select X and Y in the axis property to mirror the plate appropriately. Select omelette and bread and then the plate in this specific order. Click the down arrow in Mirror modifier and choose Copy to select it to copy the modifier. Now the omelette and the bread slice appear on the remaining plates. Now the plate with omelette and a bread slice is ready. Thank you for watching. In the next video, we'll look at creating a glass filled with juice.